everybody, welcome to the Stream Team. This is the show where we check out everything that's streaming so you can just focus on the good stuff. I'm Patrick Stinson, and as you might be able to tell, today is a very special episode. It is our Halloween episode, so I am dressed up as a very popular character, Moss from the IT Crowd, streaming now on Netflix. It's one of my favorite British sitcoms. You should check it out. If you haven't seen it, you should know that I have indeed nailed this character and nailed this look. Happy Halloween, everyone. All right, today we are talking about Anne Hathaway and Octavia Spencer and their little problem with mice in The Witches. The thriller Black Box makes a man rethink everything he is thinking. And Lovecraft Country is a show where evil spirits and monsters are not the biggest problem. They are not the biggest problem. And joining the Stream Team today, we have host and film critic Andrew Freund from Dish Nation making a return visit to the Stream Team.
Encore!
and a Stream Team virgin today, a first-timer. We have IMDb correspondent and Amazon Live host, Albert Lawrence. Albert, welcome to the Stream Team. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's fantastic to be here. Thank you for getting the spirit set in the right way, Patrick.
Also, it's always a hair issue as well. Yeah.
Patrick, I too am wearing a costume today. I don't know if you noticed, but I am wearing the costume of a nice Jewish boy from San Francisco. So that is what I'm going to give you today.
Nailed it, welcome. Andrew. Nailed it.
You're welcome.
Annual favorite. Yeah.
Right here.
All right, we're going to jump right into it because it does not get any more Halloween-like than a whole bunch of witches and witches with big star names attached to them. The Witches, Andrew.
Yeah, so first of all, I'll preface this by saying I am a huge fan of the original 1990 film, which of course starred Angelica Houston as the Grand High Witch. In this new updated version, we see Anne Hathaway in the role. And don't go by the reviews. Now, I am a film critic. So basically just only go by what I say. Don't listen to anybody else. Because, you know, a lot of people pan this movie and, you know, they call it over the top. They called it too much. Well, guess what? It's a movie called The Witches about witches eating kids.
And we will exterminate those brats.
Rats. We would exterminate the rats.
It's gonna be over the top. It's going to be loud. And all I will say in this new version, I kind of did go in with lower expectations because I hold the original in such high regard. But I was honestly blown away because the effects, the score, the scares, there's some really scary in this movie. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like, I was going like, you know, Anne Hathaway, as soon as she takes off her wig, you're like, whoa. I was like, she scares the crap out of me. And of course, this film is directed by the great Robert Zemeckis, who directed Back to the Future and Forrest Gump. So he has his own whimsical view of the worlds that he creates. But I really love this updated version because also this updated version celebrates diversity. And it's funny because it made me think of when I watched the old version, there's not much diversity in that film. But we have Octavia Spencer in the title role as the grandmother in this version, and she knocks it out of the park. Stanley Tucci plays the hotel manager in the updated version. And we go through this journey with the young boy, Octavia's grandson, and he gets turned into a mouse, just like in the original. I absolutely love The Witches. Perfect film for Halloween.
And also the voice of Chris Rock.
Oh, that's right. Chris Rock plays the narrator.
And here's the most important thing. Witches hate children.
And it's interesting because this film was supposed to, you know, obviously go into the theaters. It's a huge, you know, multi-million-dollar film that you can now see in the comfort of your own home on Halloween.
I mean, it's got that look like if we were in a normal world, you would want to see it in the theater, but we're not. So everyone relax. Don't listen to all the reviews except for this one.
Yes, just have a good time and watch The Witches. It's not Citizen Kane, people. It's The Witches.
Well, I will enjoy The Witches when I get a chance to watch it, Andrew, just on your review alone.
Look at that.
Don't listen to anyone else, just this guy from Dish Nation right here.
Absolutely. All right. So The Witches will give us all the laughs and some feels. While,
And the scares.
While Black Box will just give us some scares. It is, it's disturbing and scary and just all of that stuff all rolled into one.
Yeah, Patrick. So Black Box, you can watch it on Prime Video. It's a part of the Welcome to the Blumhouse collection, which has been rolling out during this year. And it was actually one of the first two of these films that came out as a part of the collection. I will say that Phylicia Rashad, who plays a doctor, she is not playing Claire Huxtable this go round, Patrick. She is incredibly dark with these additional motivations. But what ends up happening within Black Box is we find ourselves hanging out with a gentleman who seems to be undergoing amnesia.
If that thing shows up again, you just say to yourself, I run my mind, it does not run me.
I run my mind, it doesn't run me. I run my mind, it doesn't run me.
He's trying to rebuild his life, just kind of figure out what are the pieces that he can no longer remember. This guy has been in a very, very bad car accident where his wife has been killed during this accident. And he's just kind of trying to piece his life back together. But you can see the struggle. You can really tie in and understand just from an empathetic standpoint, how difficult that it must be for everyone in this world to try to help this guy to get his life back. But then we veer into the horror, the psychological horror of it all. Honestly, when Phylicia Rashad enters the picture, because we believe that she's just this thoughtful doctor who wants to help people piece their memories. But soon, Andrew, Patrick realize that what lies beneath is not what it looks like on the surface at all. And we go through these topsy-turvy tunnel things. There are elements that may remind you some of Get Out, specifically because if you can remember the sunken place, which honestly, who of us can forget the sunken place?
Forget it.
It's a part of the pop culture lexicon by this point, but you can see that there seem to be some moments, some elements of that perhaps are inspired by that sunken place, but done in additionally in an artsy manner. But all in all, this movie takes you on a ride, and I do believe that it's a ride, a psychological roller coaster that is best enjoyed at home. I mean, honestly, these days we don't have many options but to enjoy it at home. But I watched this with my cousin, and as we were sitting on the couch, I don't know, this would probably annoy you in theaters if somebody was talking next to you, what did you see? Or is that so-and-so from this? But this is one of those movies where I feel it really does benefit you to be able to have a little bit of discourse while it's happening, just so that you can also kind of throw some guesses out, because you know that there will be twists, you know that there will be turns, because this is Blumhouse, you know there will be jumps and scares. So for me as a viewer, I like to try to figure out where things are going before the movie reveals it. And this was one of those where I was like, okay, if we know that the best friend is here, we know that they've all got to be connected in some way. So I'm just kind of working it out. And none of you would have wanted to sit next to me in the theater while watching this. So watch it at home.
Phylicia Rashad is so good being bad. Oh my God. I interviewed her for the Tyler Perry movie she did earlier this year. Yep. And that was the first time I had ever seen her play kind of a sinister character. And you do not want to mess with a mean Claire Huxtable. Nope.
Also, I thought this movie really reminded us. I was like, well, she's also a great actress.
Really good.
Solid. She is solid. And Albert, you're absolutely correct. First of all, I've been doing this. I don't know if you guys, I've been doing this for a long time. And much to my own chagrin, I'm able to predict, when I'm watching a movie, I'm like, oh, I know where we're going with this one. This one, I was floored. I was completely floored. And there's a huge twist. And I was like, oh, oh my goodness.
Oh my God, now I gotta watch it.
I did not see it coming. I did not see it coming. I was so happy.
Yeah, Patrick, but you know, with that twist though, sometimes in some movies, and I'm not going to call them out, but I think that we've all seen enough television shows or movies to understand that sometimes twists don't feel earned. You know, like certain twists, it's like, hold on, you didn't even give us the stones and the pebbles to like figure out how you got to this big wall. This feels like a cheat, you know? However, with Black Box, when you think about it, like when the reveal happens, I feel as though they did give us enough things, much like The Sixth Sense, right? Where it's like, okay, follow the red balloons, you know, all of that, you know, like there was enough there to lead us to it without us feeling like we've been duped when they rip off the mask, that kind of thing, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well done, Albert. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, now we are moving on to Lovecraft Country. Lovecraft Country is the show that is filling up all of your friends' timeline. It's not new, but now all of the episodes are finally streaming on HBO Max.
It's a rat race to the finish. And it's winner takes all.
It's the story of an adventure, a cross-country adventure of this group of people with Jonathan Majors, Journey Smollett, and Courtney B. Vance, just to name a few. They are on this cross-country adventure to uncover some family secrets, if you will. And it's an adventure that takes them through the 1950s of Jim Crow America. And yes, it's sci-fi, it's ghosts, it's mysteries and all that. So they're gonna run into shapeshifters, they're gonna run into monsters, they're gonna run into ghosts, they're gonna run into all that stuff. But in addition to that, they are going to run into hardcore racism, which I like to think that the horror of racism is another main character in this show. I mean, you cannot get around it, but I really think it's really well done. The acting is superb. I think Journey Smollett, I want to say she steals the show, but maybe she's so good because everyone around her is so good, and the directing, Andrew, what was it? The mise en scène?
Mise en scène. There you go. There you go.
The mise en scène is absolutely, you are in 1950s America. I will tell you right now, though, since all the episodes have finally been released, you got to watch it because spoilers are everywhere. I had a friend spoil something for me, and then I was like, wait, I haven't finished the complete series yet. And she goes, okay, well, maybe that didn't happen. So...
Nice save.
I would definitely check out Lovecraft Country, and there's also they have a companion piece where you can go behind the scenes. That's on HBO Max, so it's definitely worth your time.
Yeah.
Now, Patrick, what are you when you're binging on your binge watching situations? What are you drinking? Like, what's your optimal binge situation? Is there popcorn? Is there a cocktail? Is there wine?
There are always snacks. Andrew, and then I like to match my drinks with what I'm watching.
So what's the Lovecraft Country drink?
Lovecraft Country was a dark liquor for sure. It was a dark spiced rum.
Maybe an old fashioned, perhaps.
Yeah,
that sounds like
absolutely.
Classic. That sounds like a good situation. Okay, all right.
Dark liquor for sure.
Dark liquor.
Very nice follow-up question, Andrew.
That's amazing.
All right. Wait,
can I say something real quick about Lovecraft Country?
No. Yeah, absolutely, Albert. Go for it.
Just go watch it, I guess. Never mind.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think that with Lovecraft Country, like you mentioned Journey Smollett's performance, I do believe that we will see multiple nominations for the performances in the show, for the production design, just for this overall production once we get to the Emmys next year. Like, I mean, it's a foregone conclusion that like these guys are truly going to show up, I believe.
Absolutely, especially Journey, especially.
Journey, yeah.
All right, we are moving on to something that's a little weird because here's a premise. There's a nasty virus and people are locked up in their homes. Now, I never thought I would say thank God for zombies, but I'm thankful for the zombies, Albert, because in this movie, the zombies are the only reason that I know it's not happening in real life.
Amen, man. It's too close to home.
It really is.
Uncomfortable. So yes, the film is #Alive. It's a South Korean made film and it's available on Netflix. I didn't know about this movie until I went searching specifically for some good Halloween horror themed movies. And I am so thankful that we found it.
축적된 초미세먼지가 오늘 역대 최악 농도를
There's a gentleman who his family has left home for a moment, and while they're gone, he's a huge gamer, while they're gone, the zombie apocalypse breaks out, and he has to figure out how to just survive at home by himself. But in the midst of him using his tech savviness, and I feel like a lot of the comedy kind of comes in through the tech stuff as well too, but he ends up sort of befriending / perhaps falling in love with a young lady who lives in a building that is kind of across the street. Meanwhile, zombies are attacking, people are having a duck. He's got to figure out, how is he going to eat? How is he going to drink? How is he going to pick up radio signals from the outside world and whatnot? And they, without giving too much away, the quest to survive ends up also inviting us empathetically to think about, like, what does it actually mean to be alive? What does it actually mean to survive? Should you continue to fight even when you know that the world is closing in on you, even when you know that the odds of you having any sort of a semblance of a regular life on the other side of this thing are super duper slim? So it gets dark, we've got to think, and it also really made me want to eat peanut butter, because peanut butter seems to be a golden gauntlet in this thing. So yeah, Patrick, did you feel like by the time you finished watching this movie, did you feel any more alive, or did you feel as though the life had been drained out of you?
Well, I felt actually kind of stupid, because you told me you were going to talk about #Alive, and I was like, I'm going to watch this movie. So like 11 o'clock at night, I put on #Alive and then watch it and then try to go to bed. And I'm like, that was not a very smart thing. I kind of felt like the guy in the movie, though, because he's kind of portrayed as an idiot. Like, multiple people call him an idiot, including himself. And then we figured it all out. But I thought it was really well done. And, you know, like, at some point I thought I was done with zombies.
Right.
But they really pulled it off. I really, really enjoyed it. I mean, they went all out with the zombies.
Oh my gosh, like, these were very formidable zombies, man. Like, there was nothing like kind and playful or funny about these zombies. Like, they were just all out savages.
But also, when I was watching the movie, I thought, people have to remember, zombies can run. A lot of times we think zombies, you know, like, zombies can run and they will come for you.
They will come for you. They will come for you.
Patrick, they'll cut a bitch. Zombies will cut a bitch.
So now we're going to talk Black women and their hair. So obviously, out of this group of us, we go to Andrew.
You come to me.
Obviously, we go to
complete sense.
Makes
all right.
Complete sense.
So, Patrick and Albert, if you're looking for a film with possessed wigs and weaves, then I've got the movie for you. Let's take a look at Bad Hair.
Hi. You're not tender-headed, are you? I'll be fine. Clients swear this stuff is magic. You know, in some parts of India, a woman's hair is her most prized possession.
This movie was so original to me because in the landscape where we're so used to seeing remake after remake, I had never seen any movie like this. The movie comes from Justin Simien, who created Dear White People, if you've seen that series. And it's based off kind of these Japanese fables of possessed and haunted hair. And in this case, the film is set in the 1980s, and it's set in an office-type setting, and it stars Vanessa Williams, Laverne Cox, Blair Underwood, Lena Waithe, Elle Lorraine plays the young girl, and it is just mesmerizing because I've honestly never seen anything like it. And basically, Elle Lorraine is working for a BET-type network, and she wants to really get on air because she's in a producing type role, but she wants to, be on TV. So Vanessa Williams basically says to her, and Vanessa Williams plays the head of the network, and she says, well, you've got to do something about your hair. Like, you've got to fix something. So she basically bites the bullet. She goes to a salon. The woman that does her hair, played by Laverne Cox, basically installs a haunted and possessed weave on her head. So what do haunted and possessed weaves do? They kill people. And a lot of people end up dead. A lot of people end up dead because the weave takes on a life of its own. And literally when the weave doesn't like someone, that weave will cut a bitch. It goes out and just it'll like stab people and people end up dying. I'm just telling you guys, it was so much fun.
It was off the wall, off the charts, so much fun. One note, keep your eye on Vanessa Williams' hair the entire movie. Keep your eye on that. And I thought that this movie gave the phrase black girl magic whole other meaning. Whole other meaning.
I'm just like very proud of Justin Simeon for this because I love the fact that now it seems like Hollywood opened up to a degree for him because of the success of Dear White People and the fact that he chose to go this way as opposed to doing something maybe safer, you know, just kind of like within the ranks. Like this is a bold move. And I remember when it premiered at, what festival did this premiere at?
Sundance. It premiered at Sundance. Mm-hmm.
Yes, when it premiered at Sundance, I remember so much buzz about this. And people were like, you got to see this, you got to see this. So the fact that it's now come out right now strategically during a season where, again, like a lot of us, we're spending so much time at home and looking for different things to give us some fright, but not necessarily to hit too close to home. I think it's a perfect escape.
It really makes you empathize by what Black women go through for their hair.
There's an additional message there as well. Yes,
totally. And there's also, I mean, obviously it's a fun horror film, but it's also very satirical. And there's also like a cultural message to this film. So it works so well because it works on so many different layers that you can actually get a lot out of it.
Absolutely.
Layers, like hair layers. Nice.
There we go. Mm-hmm.
There we go. All right. This next one is completely different. This is called Scaredy Cat. And it is the first movie billed as the first movie ever made for cats. And I will tell you, I am not a cat, but I enjoyed it 100%.
This Halloween, the hunter will become the hunted. A horror beyond human comprehension. A new frontier in feline fear.
It is a short film. It's only 4 minutes long, guys. It's a tiny little film about a cat at home alone. I'm assuming he's alone. There are no people there. And there's a ball of yarn unraveling in his home, and he follows it. And if you're a cat lover, if you've watched cat videos on YouTube, you will delight at where this goes. This movie is from the people who make Temptations cat treats, but it's really well done. The animation is beautiful. The scares are real. I was like, what in the world are the people at Temptations cat treats doing making movies that I've watched at least 5 times now? I just keep...
Is Temptations Cats Treats sponsoring this segment right now? Is that why we're talking about this movie?
Not until I
Where's
make some
the
phone
logo?
calls.
I'm looking. Is there a logo here?
Not until I make some phone calls after this, but that's a great idea. But I was just like, you can find entertainment at a lot of different places, but it was really well done. And anyone who's fallen down that rabbit hole of watching cat video after cat video on YouTube, and you see some of the things that cats are afraid of, you will completely understand the ending of this tiny little film. I highly recommend everyone go out and watch it. I'll actually come over and watch it with you. Listen, it's only 4 minutes long. It's a good time if you're a cat lover.
Slide into Patrick's DMs. He'll come over to your house and watch the movie with you.
Now, originally, I thought I was going to end this episode with Scaredy Cat. And then I was reminded of the film Cats. And I thought, well, that is actually a horror film. I did not get to see it. However, I will tell you, I had a friend text me a couple of weeks ago, and she goes, hey, Patrick, I just took an edible, and I'm going to watch Cats.
Smart.
5 minutes
Very
later, she's
smart.
like, I'm out. She's like, I can't do it. I cannot do it, Patrick. I can't get through it. What happened? Andrew, I didn't see the movie. I hear you did. You seem okay now.
Me too.
Yeah, it's funny because, I obviously, like, there was so much negative buzz around this film, so I went in with the lowest expectation.
0.
And I was pleasantly surprised that when I actually saw the film, my opinion was even lower than my expectation.
Oh, Andrew.
I couldn't.
Well done.
It just it didn't make sense to me because I know how these movies are made, and hundreds of, it has to be screened hundreds of times by multiple people, executives, marketing people, like tons of people. How did not one person say, what the hell is this movie? We spent millions and millions of dollars, and this is what we came up with? It was very bizarre. Your friend's idea to take the edible and watch the film, smart, very smart. But I can see why she was like, meh, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's a 0 out of 4 cats for me.
Albert, did you feel as strongly?
I did not feel as strongly. You know what? I enjoy this, but maybe it had also a little bit to do with the setting, because I saw this film back in theaters. Remember back in the day, movie theaters, guys?
Yeah.
Tell me about theaters, Albert.
Yeah, exactly. So I remember seeing this around like last holiday season and intentionally wanting to go and just be in a room full of people so that we could experience the wildness, the wackiness. Because even just from the trailers, I felt a little, what's happening here? But I will say, like, in the room, and I think that there were people who had, by this point, the midnight screenings and, and that whole sort of like cult of celebration thing was happening surrounding this film. So I saw it in that context. And so because of that, there were people yelling and talking back to the screen because of certain parts that were familiar to them. And I just enjoyed that level of interaction. The film itself, I have not rewatched it since. I don't think that watching it at home would have the same effect. But I did enjoy so much of the jellicoldness of it, and the fact that every single actor in this film, and Andrew, tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like every actor, at least during the production of this, they seem very committed. Idris Elba, James Corden, Rebel Wilson, like they believe. Now afterwards, a little different, right? Because I now listening and watching some of the interviews that people have had, since they've seen the movie, I feel like the actors aren't standing behind it as much necessarily.
I mean, if you're going to pay me $1 million to dress up in a cat suit, you better believe I'm going to be committed. So I get it. And a lot of the cast has since trashed this movie since it came out. But you're right, because I remember when I went to go see it, I've never been in a theater where people just laugh out loud about how bad the movie is. That's the only time I've ever experienced that in a movie theater. Cats.
Great Halloween watch, guys. Oh my God. Albert, thank you so much for joining the stream team today.
Thank you for having me. This has been a complete blast.
I hope you come back. Andrew, thank you for making a return visit to the stream team. We would be nothing without you.
It's my pleasure. I will come back whenever you want me, Patrick.
Excellent, guys. Thanks, everybody. Happy Halloween. We'll see you next time. Check out the part in the hair, too.